This conference will now be recorded.
Perfect.
Hi, David.
So, hi.
With regard, as you know, the two workstream proposals have been scheduled now
Yes.
for next week. We got 3 sessions that I've set up. It looks like we're getting a pretty big attendance to these brainstorm sessions, more than would normally be useful for a work session, but we'll see where it goes. It would be good if this team can join it as well, since this is where we develop most of the background for it. So I just want to plug that.
I saw that mails about the warranty guidelines, about TC modeling and others, and so we will start to work on that together. What we can discuss today? I mean, should we continue talk about these two topics, warranty guidelines and TCM modeling, give there more insights and etc., or someone want to give some other topic?
If you don't mind me suggesting, I think we should now defer the discussions on warranty and TCO modeling to the designated workstream proposal calls. And focus on other hurdles that we haven't given as much attention to. One of them that I can think of is the networking bit. I think that's where Peter might be able to help get some insights as well, but others may be able to as well. The optical interfaces, it's something that we haven't really addressed yet within work streams. Whether that needs to be addressed might be something that we want to look at. I don't know which. Maybe it's also good to go through the deck to see which other hurdles have been identified, which should get some more attention, right?
Yes. Peter, Dennis, do you want to start to talk about network?
I'm sorry, are you referring to me?
Yes.
Okay. I'm sorry, what about the network specifically?
So we please look at the screen. We
Yes,
have
I am.
two slides about
Okay.
network equipment.
Oh.
And Dennis have mentioned the signal integrity for high-speed networks.
Okay.
And also there is others about the fiber and
Sure.
So
okay.
Signal integrity is also scheduled as a workstream proposal. So signal integrity by itself will be addressed in a separate group as well.
Okay.
The point I wanted to make around the network is the optical interconnects. I know, of course, that Peter has a potential solution for it, but it might be something that we want to address in a broader sense.
Okay, sure. So on a high level, I see the number. I can address the Eric Collins. Actually, it's best to address the first one and the one on signal integrity. But I can take a couple of the bullet points on this slide. So what kind of speed can be achieved with immersion? Uh, on the optical connectivity, we are already at 100 gig. We are prototyping 400 gig, testing prototyping 400 gig with quite positive results, at least in our standalone unit level testing at the factory. In terms of predominantly, these are all multi-mode, so short reach. The distance is up to 100-meter plus. Anything long reach, we know it's possible. In fact, there may be some existing solution for the long reach, so single mode. So we we started initially focusing on the multi-mode because those optical multi-mode solution did not exist on the marketplace as a built-in from the ground up in specific design for immersion. We've heard there are aftermarket retrofits, customization, but it's not the same when you retrofit something versus it's built, designed, and built for a specific purpose. And we are also ready to offer 70 degrees version of the optical interconnect sealed optics, as well as 85-degree version sealed optics. Does that answer the question for number 2? Yeah.
Yes, great. But Peter, what do you think? Can you add from your side some this information in this slide? You have access, Peter?
Do I have access to this slide?
Yes, I will send you the access to
Okay.
this slide deck.
Sure. I can add
You
to
will
that.
be able
Yeah.
to add.
Yeah, I can add to what I can add. Yeah.
Is this something that we might want to formulate some best practices around, or
Right.
use your product as an example for the rest of the industry to follow?
Yes, we would be glad to share what we can. Yes. Yeah. And in
Okay.
general, the interface and connectors. So maybe let me add a little bit clarity. So far, what we have done and start sampling has been Ethernet based. We for air cooled regular standard product, we also support fiber channel as well as InfiniBand products. But those we are also uh, sealing those and putting them through testing. So it may expand beyond just um, switch and server and Ethernet. It may we maybe have the opportunity to product-wise expanding to support of InfiniBand and support of fiber channels, which are typically used for storage systems. So, oh yeah, so Dave, you're typing David, you're typing the notes, right? So we have starting from 1 gig all the way up to 1 gig, 10, 25, 40, and
Uh,
plus what you typed in.
yes, I'm just adding you to the list of the participants, and you will be
Okay,
able to
I'll add to it.
fix
Sure,
that.
sure. Thank you. Okay.
Okay, great. Uh,
Are there any additional hurdles associated with optical interconnect, Peter, that you could use the help with from these groups?
Mm, I nothing exactly come to my mind right now in terms of hurdles. What we have heard but not experienced firsthand is that the the interference at high frequency in very high speed, right? So probably beyond 100 gig, either at 200 gig or 400 gig, that type of interference because of the dielectric index and and the fluid and the frequency of the circuit boards and the products running. We haven't actually seen that in our test model, but our testing is more fundamental at the connector at the module level, right? So this is why we're in the process of working collaboratively with um, enclosure and server manufacturers to get tested in a system level, integrated level, to see how, if any, uh, negative impact exists. But so far, we have not heard from our product. We have not heard. It could be the way we seal it. We don't to be determined, to be updated with more information.
A question to all participants. Anyone want to get access to this slide deck to add something?
David, if I can suggest, can
Yes.
Eric Collins be added to have access as well?
I need his just his email. If you can put it in the chat, I will put him in.
David,
Yes.
you can share if you open the sharing screen again. The bottom option is to share with anyone on the internet and make anyone a commenter. That allows you to, or anyone with a link, that allows you to share with whoever wants to do anything, and anyone can place comments.
Okay. So
yeah,
it's
just
already
copy
there.
the link. If you push the button copy link and paste it in the chat, then everybody can have access to the document or
Yes,
forward that link to whoever needs it.
Yes, but I will add Eric anyway in this editor list.
Yeah, commenting gives you the same edit access, but the only consequence is that you would have to end up approving content additions, right? So it does give everybody the opportunity to add things. It just that you will be the filter for the additions.
Okay.
Okay.
So moving forward, anyone else can add information about network? Someone? Hello?
I think that's really it.
Okay. So we can move to other topic if someone wants to talk about other hurdles.
Yeah, I think it's somewhere in there. That is a unified servicing approach for immersion systems.
Yes, it was.
It's one of the flagged items that people mention a lot, especially for skilled deployment, to have a unified servicing approach, regardless of the brand of tank that is being used.
Yes, we talk about sender system operations, hardware, fluid servicing models, general service protocols and operations, commissioning standards, which we have put to the summit slides. So let's go there. I try to find. Let's do it's here, maintenance and service, and I will make a correction here. Here. Okay. So we can put here any insights and information which you want. And you want to talk about this? About hurdles of...
Yeah, that's a unified approach to it. There is no standard. So with immersion tanks, especially, right? So not referring to the enclosed chassis approach, which also might need to be addressed somehow. But so there's probably two sides to it. If you're talking about tank-based solutions, for example, having a unified lifting interface at the very least to start with, that doesn't exist, right? So you have multiple approaches to how you lift, what a lifting interface should look like, how strong it should be. Also, the methods of extracting a server, how to deal with drippage, and leak. Those are the things that need to be unified, right? How to allow an end user to service or a maintenance person to service a piece of IT equipment, just adding a memory module or doing a repair without having to take it to a specialized center or something, or without creating a mess at the data floor.
Yes,
Those kind of things are still not unified. Those are elements I feel that need to be unified over time. But others, please chip in as well, right?
Yes. I want to point that in the right way. So end user server maintenance and upgrade and upgrade. I will write memory, maybe CPU, and other. Okay.
Yeah, and some of the same questions for the enclosed chassis approaches, right? So how do you allow access to server components within an enclosed chassis system, which is by design sealed? How to effectively deal with that?
Yes, please, Mustafa.
Hello?
You want
Oh, yeah,
to?
good. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, Ralph. I wanted to check that everyone hears me. I think for a chassis approach, you can add few points here. So
Just
there's
a
no,
moment.
so you can basically say similar standard to air-cooled racks, more or less, in terms of lifting and extracting the servers. Maybe like the operational need to be mindful of the weight because the server will have liquid or coolant in it and the weight will change. So we might need to set standards for the weight per chassis. And also the last point of the tank immersion where the end user server maintenance, this will apply as well for the chassis immersion.
Which one I didn't catch?
The last point. The last point, end user server maintenance.
Okay, this one. But previously, before operational weight, you had mentioned something I didn't catch. Can you repeat, please?
So basically similar standards to air-cooled servers.
Similar what?
Standards.
I didn't catch this word.
Standard, like
standards. Sorry.
Yes, standards. For
standards to air cooling racks.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe add an extra point for extracting. Well, maybe a point that's worth adding to both tanks and chassis, which is draining the coolant and also feeding the coolant to the chassis or to the tank as well.
So how I can write it? Draining the tank or draining?
Filling and the draining procedures.
Okay. Draining and filling
Yeah, David, you should differentiate here between approaches for tank and enclosed chassis.
Yes,
Right?
I
Two
make
different
that.
vectors.
You see, one is for
Okay, yeah, sorry.
tanks.
Apologies. I can't read the screen on my phone, so apologies for that.
Okay. Yes. So on the top is about tanks, and at bottom about immersion chassis.
Yes, CHASS. Yeah.
So Mustafa,
This way.
Mustafa, there are only two vendors that I'm aware of who use enclosed chassis. That is Isotope and Liquid Cool Solutions. Is that correct, or are there more?
That's correct based on my knowledge.
For the market,
Right.
yes.
So
But,
is this something that we should look at towards unification, or is it something that because there's only two vendors, these two approaches may not need to have a harmonized approach to some of these things?
Well, I think there should be an approach for both, and it's more or less the same. So I think we need a standard for the chassis immersion as well.
I think that we should mention that, but after the producers can decide should they have or not.
Why you think they should not, David?
No, so Rolf said that there is only two producers, and for that reason, is there a request to make that unified or not? Because there is only two. But I'm saying that we just put that information here, and after looking for the response from these two producers, we will know do they want or not. Our job is to put that on the table. This
Gotcha.
is the
okay. No problem. No problem. Yeah.
Yes.
Makes sense.
Okay.
And one item that may also need to be addressed in both situations is cleaning of equipment, especially for maintenance of IT equipment, RMA processes, or as soon as you need to transport IT equipment to another party, it's very often the case that the system cannot contain any residue of the liquid. Now, this is mostly a problem with hydrocarbon fluids, right? So, a cleaning approach to get rid of any hydrocarbon residue or oil residue from equipment is something that also doesn't exist in the public domain, at least, right? So, I know that some vendors have some approaches to it. But there's no proper unified approach to cleaning equipment.
That's a good point, Ralph. And just one suggestion here. And since there are some common points between chassis and tanks, I would suggest that we have like a common approach for both, for whatever they are sharing, and only keep the points that are different in terms of the operation and maintenance, if that makes sense.
Okay. So
for example, you don't need to repeat the points that are applied or that are valid for both the chassis and tank immersion. So when you say draining and filling procedures, this applies for both, right?
yes, draining, operational weight.
I could have picked the wrong point here, but for example, service or server maintenance, it would be the same. You would have the server or the chassis on a table and maintain it, and it will be the same for both chassis and tank.
So you want to make one for both?
Procedure.
Yes, another one for immersion, another one for the chassis, and one is which is applied for both, right?
Correct. Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Let's do that.
So we call it the first one. We call it unified approach for immersion, and that applies for both, whatever tank or chassis.
Okay.
And then, yeah. And then IT cleaning approach that will apply for both.
And this is which is different.
So the top ones, I think, are only applied for a tank. So that is correct.
Lifting interface, yes, it's for tanks.
Yes.
It's actually for chassis operational weight. It's similar.
Yeah,
Similar
I think that's
but similar standards to air cooling racks. It is for the chassis. And
yeah.
extracting service from liquid. It is repeating the draining and filling procedure.
No, it's not repeated, because with tank you will need a way to extract the server from the tank.
Okay.
With the rack you will just slide it out.
Okay. Any other?
A method which is non-manual, right? So that is also something that we defined in immersion requirement, right? So it should be a non-manual method to extract service from a tank.
Rolf,
Maybe right between two brackets, non-manual.
So here I should write non-manual.
Manual and non-manual.
Okay. Like this?
Yeah. Is that what you wanted, Ralph?
Sorry, I can't read the screen.
So you mentioned, it's manual and non-manual, right? That applies for tanks.
No, I think for a tank, it must be, you must have a mechanism, non-manual mechanism only, because you can't have a situation where you need to lift service manually out of a tank that is suitable for operating these kind of tanks at scale.
Yeah.
So okay. Only non-manual, lifting interface, non-manual.
Or lifting mechanism, non-manual. The interface obviously is something that is part of the chassis.
Okay. So
or the connection mechanism to attach to a chassis, right? That is something that should be facilitated, but yeah.
So I would write lifting mechanism, and it should be non-manual.
So that applies to extracting service from the liquid, David.
Extracting here.
Yeah, I think that's what's all.
Okay, so I will put it here together.
Yeah, you don't need that. Yeah.
Like this. Okay. Okay. Next.
I think somebody needs attention from you in the background, right?
No, it's okay.
Just kidding.
Commissioning standards. The commissioning standard will be different, I think. Well, it's same procedures. You would have to check same points, I guess, but it will be slightly different between tank and chassis.
Mustafa, what do you want to do? Please, could you repeat?
I'm just thinking out loud here for the commissioning standard.
Okay.
So I'm saying basically there will be a standard that needs to be followed for a tank, and there will be a standard that needs to be followed for chassis immersion.
Okay, so you want to put that commissioning?
Yeah, like air bleeding from the system, and that kind of stuff.
Would that be a best practices or guidelines approach or something like that?
So are we, okay, so just for me to be clear here, are we here setting standards or what we doing here?
Well, that's up to the group what is needed, right? So what is the hurdle and what is needed to address it? So do you think we need a unified standard for commissioning or guidelines for commissioning? I don't have the answer. I don't have an opinion necessarily, but I can imagine that different technologies may require different commissioning procedures, right?
Correct.
So, is that something that we should be unifying, or are there more generic guidelines that you're thinking about? It's a question to you.
Maybe generic guidelines of it's more applicable because, as you're correctly saying, every system will have different procedure, and every system should have a manual that people can follow. But general guidelines, maybe I don't know.
So let's write general guidelines, okay?
Guidance.
But are we talking about commissioning of IT equipment or of a tank solution?
I thought the tank solution here.
Yes.
Then it's not part of that is not the same topic as the server extraction discussion and server maintenance, and I would argue that would be a different
So
topic.
let's mention and tanks and servers. I can write like this, and tanks.
And then still it would be a commissioning approach. I think would be different from a day-to-day servicing and maintenance approach for IT equipment, right? So I think it would justify a different slide or a different title to keep the summary of what you've already written down here as part of the IT maintenance approach.
Okay, so here we should mention commissioning for the cooling equipment. I mean the tanks and chassis, or not?
I don't think we should be doing that here. I think that should be on a different slide.
Okay, I will delete commissioning.
Unless everybody here disagrees with that point of view, so I don't want to be controlling the discussion.
I agree. Let's start from maintenance and service, and after commissioning, we separate the page. You agree, Mustafa?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. Any other? Is okay.
Hardware servicing models.
Alison, you've got quite a bit of experience on these topics as well, I assume. Do you have any take on?
So, I'm sorry, I'm just doing a lot of listening. And my only comment is that when we go to present this, I'm a very visual person, and I know that we're speaking within the community right now about all this and hashing everything out. But if we hope to get these hurdles in maybe a presentation later on, I think it would be great to almost see it if we want to say this is a hypothetical MOP, okay, for commissioning both tank and server, you know what I'm saying? So I just, the only thing I want to point out is once we get all of these hard facts down, putting it in a format that might look like an MOP, and again, that to show the public, Joe, that might be a C-level, C-suite guy or an IT guy or a director or whatever, that is really looking at, getting these boxes checked off to deploy. Oh, they will recognize an MOP. Oh, okay, there's an MOP for that. Got it. Check that off the box. So that's my only comment really, is that maybe when we're doing this, it's not just a bunch of bullets. Maybe we talk about the format of it. That's my only, just from where I come out of, it's always great to see stuff like that.
Okay.
Just FYI.
Okay.
I hope that helped. I don't know. So
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
really
yes.
great. It was really encouraging for me. Of course, I talked a lot to the two CRSI guys. Michael is on here as well. So I know that they have a lot of experience doing these deployments, completely just, doing, everything from start to finish on the deployments. I met with Avaso, which is like a third party also person that has complete MOPs, and they've done a lot of immersion deployments for some of the people in these in the immersion community, by the way. So it's really great to see their MOPs and their standards, and working on exactly, step by step by step by step. And for me, that's greatness, because I want to be able to put a document in a potential client's face and say, okay, this is what our procedure is going to be. And it just helps them to, get that off their list of worries. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of where I'm coming from.
Okay.
I see that Michael is here from 2 Series I as well. Is there, you want to add, you want to, do you want to share some insights here as well, Michael? Mikael?
Yeah, I'm sorry, I hear very, very bad because I have my phone. So I'm not sure to have all understand, but so I'm sorry. But
Oh,
I think it's we need to. Oh, I'm sorry, a very bad signal.
plus I
Okay.
talk fast. So I know.
So,
I think
Alison, can
that,
you
yeah.
repeat once more
Yeah,
in a short way?
yeah. So I know, Michael, speaking with your team, that you guys have, deployed your systems, and the gentlemen there on site were talking about, how, oh yeah, we can do this. We'll do turnkey. We'll show up. We'll do everything, as far as doing the installation and the commissioning. It seemed like, so it would be great to see if you guys have any protocols for your operations and installations. And I think that that's kind of like an MOP is what we, method of procedure. I know some people call it different things. For some reason, that's what I call it, and our team calls it. But just that, I thought that it would be great to, if you guys are okay with sharing some of your info in regards to that, then I think that's what potential customers want to see, is those kind of things. So
Okay. Michael, what you can say about that?
So if I understand, because I'm sorry, I lost a part of the word, but yes, we have an experience for few installation, and it depends of the customer for each installation for the protocol. But we have a basic protocol, and and so I don't know if I've explained the protocol or we have can transmit the basic.
Yeah, yes. So the idea is, would you like to share that protocol to use it for creating that unified approach?
Yeah, I can do by word or just send you a first version or basic version of the protocol with to install the tank, or we more specific you install the server and you
And we
make the
can
maintenance
start with
on our server.
Yes, and we can use it as a base and make joint a collaboration on that.
Yeah. So I can send you that by email.
Yes, I will make here notes about an example from Michael to okay.
Okay.
For example.
I'll also see what I can get from Avaso. That, as long as I know they're not part of the OCP, but I believe he would probably share just some basic protocols of some of the things they have, and let me see too if I can get something out of them. So I think it would be great to have examples of like protocols. I think that would be great.
Okay. Michael, do you have my email?
Yeah, I think.
Yes, David G. OCP project. Dot.
Yeah. I think I have that. But if I
Okay.
don't, I'll find that. Not a problem.
Okay, great. Any other addition? Okay, so it's a good. Everything is fine. So we have covered the maintenance and service, and we can move to the other topic. Any ideas or any thoughts? Let's look at safety, IT support, material capability, decision makers. Do you want to talk about TCO modeling?
I think that's deferred to a work stream proposal.
Okay.
So it would be good if you can join that as well with these materials, but I think they've been added already in the initial materials that have been that are provided as input.
Okay, so let's go back to the
So it might be good to reorganize these slides so that any slides that relate to warranty and TCO modeling and signal integrity, that they're archived with each other. So that what's left is the material that we haven't addressed yet.
Okay, so I will clean up this metrics because it's go to TCO system inspection. It will go to the we will create new slide for the commissioning, monitoring. I think also it will be connected with the service and maintenance, MOP. Fluids is about the warranty. I will take away that. So yes, and this IT equipment and safety, it will be cleaned up. network will be developed. Okay. So production and delivery time, I don't know, there is no any issue with that. We agree that it is just a planning. Okay. Rolf, do you want to touch any other theme? Or Mustafa?
Sorry, David, say that again.
Do you want to touch any other theme for discussion? We have 9 minutes left.
Yeah. Not that I can think of.
Okay. So
yeah.
I suggest to finish our call today if there is no other ideas for discussion.
Maybe David, just if you go back to monitoring.
Yes.
Sorry.
Monitoring. Yes.
Is it just the leakage detection is the only thing that we want to monitor?
No, it's just one thing which we add here, and actually monitoring. I think it should be included into the maintenance and service because it's a part of it. No?
Well, yeah, it could be linked in. But monitoring is monitoring. I think maintenance and service is something else. But with leakage detection, maybe if there is maybe a subject to monitor the quality of the coolant. I don't know how that can be achieved, but it is something maybe one day the community or the industry will come up with a way. I don't know what the other audience think of that.
Okay.
Like has the electric constant, for example, changed over time? Has the viscosity changed over time? That kind of stuff. It's like with your car, like every whatever, I don't know, 10,000 miles, you want to change the oil.
Yes.
So is there, I don't know, yeah, I don't know how to address it.
Well, yes, the oil changing is connected with service and maintenance, right? It's not connected with monitoring, or yes, or connected.
If you are able to sense or measure the properties of the coolant, then it is monitoring plus maintenance. Of course, it will give you an indication when you want or when you need to do a maintenance. But if you can't monitor it for any reason, maybe there is no sensor to do that or so, then it could be a maintenance procedure where you recommend like every 2 years, for example, every 3 years, you take samples, take them to the lab, do the test, and then change the oil if needed, that kind of stuff.
So I just put, according to your speech, just fluid viscosity monitoring, right? In addition,
well, I gave that as an example, but it all applies, like the dielectric constant, for example.
Dielectric constant.
Yeah, the dielectric constant.
I write it right?
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else for monitoring?
Maybe just call it the properties of the coolant, and that will be more holistic because that will include thermal, will include hydraulics, will include electrical properties.
Property of liquid
Of the dielectric.
Of liquid. Okay, like this.
Yeah, like examples like the fluid viscosity, dielectric constant, etc. Maybe make it like that.
Okay.
Yep.
Great. System inspection. So I think that system inspection we can rephrase for commissioning, no?
Yeah.
So I will put here and it will be from the scratch about commissioning. And again, we can do that unified approach for the immersion, which is same for both, and the thing which is different.
For a tank immersion. Yeah, just.
Okay.
Yeah, just to be more permanent, like the sentence sounds more permanent.
You mean tank immersion?
Yeah, yeah, and same for the chassis.
Okay. Okay. Okay, that's fixed. So we are top of the hour, and thank you all for the participation. And our next meeting will be on the 14th of December.
Okay, so see you next year then.
Well, why? Next month.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
because I'm off from the 10th. So
Yes. So it will be 13th and 28th will be, I think, will be pass, and next one will be in January. So last our call in this year will be on 14th of December.
Yep.
Okay, so I will stop recording.